Lovelies, let me take you down on how I beaded my clothes. I know this is one of my skills that most of you does not know about. I truly love to design clothes, especially when it comes to beading. I love it so much. I did not learn this art from anywhere, but one thing about me is whenever I see where they are doing something, I'm always keen to learn a new thing. So this picture right here is the style inspiration behind my style. My tailor has already finished sewing it, so it's just for me to bead that center and also the side of it. As you can see, the bead used here are a very tiny bead. One of my major challenges of beading this cloth was because I couldn't find the color shade of bead for this cloth. The color of the cloth is onion color, but I could not see any color of this bead. See, the one I showed you is a lilac color. That is how I started extracting bead from the lace, because the lace is a beaded lace. I started extracting the bead, but as you can see, the sand beads are so tiny. It took me almost 2 hours to even extract one. Although the bead on the lace had different shape, there is a bigger one and the very tiny one. The one that looks like a broken glass, I cut it as an applique. Then I also got this shade of bead too to use. The line I'll be using is 0.25 because it's the smallest. It can also be called invisible thread. Right here, I am done extracting the beads, the ones I could do, and now it's time for me to start beading the cloth. I started with this bead, and the size of needle I'll be using is number 12. It is very tiny, and that is what I'll be using to do this work. I started by using my pen to carve out the lines so that I don't make mistakes. Carving out this line will let me know where to bead and where to stop. This is the reason for this line. I had to point the center. That is where I'm going to start my beading from. So after pointing out the center, I go ahead to put in my thread so that I could start beading the center with the stone bead. As you can see what I just did. Now I have formed my center, and now I can start the work. I started the beading from the ones I extracted, but the sand bead was difficult for me to use because the bead also stick with some particle of the lace. As you can see, the first line was not okay, but I had to do it that way. Even though it didn't come out fine, but I had to leave it that way because I was in a haze. There was no time for me to do this beading perfectly, so I had to do it. This beading work is one of the simplest beading I've ever done, but it came out to become one of the hardest one for me because of the bead color challenge, my baby, also the time frame for beading this cloth. So since the tiny bead was difficult for me, I started using the bigger side of it to create out this line. Then I continued that way. At a point, I had to use the lilac bead. I told you that was not the shade because I had no choice. So you can see how the color came out, but it is not too obvious, so I just had to manage it and put in the lilac color because that is the only close color I could use, because the sand bead I extracted was too small and is so tiny. Of course, as a new mom, there is no time my baby will not come in whatever I do, and because there is no time, I had to carry him each time and also do this beading at the center. As you can see, the beading is going on smoothly. Sorry I couldn't show you all the processes because there was no time and I needed to finish this bead in just one night. At this point, I was done with beading the center, and yes, it formed that circle. As you can see, it was just remaining the side, so I used the side that I cut as applique and had to place it by the side this way. Even though it was not enough, but I just had to manage it so that it will come out beautiful. So at the end of the day, when I finished beading it, my tailor had to put in the hand and fix in the other part of it, making it come out this way. So lovely, tell me what you think. Do you think I did a good job in this beading work? Let me know your honest thoughts about this, and also please feel free to give your corrections.